Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We are on day 2 this week of the big edition of the Daily Color, coloring the camping page in Romantic Country. And as promised yesterday, I have some greens out to work on the grass. I had to stray with the tent because I did my own coloring, so I did not use the colors in Chris Chang's video from 7 years ago, but I have pulled. I'm using the same greens that she had. I will put the equivalents of the Prismacolors. I have not done a color match for the blues that I pulled. I just pulled random blues. So I may or may not have time to go back and try to research if there are equivalent Prismacolor blues, because I do have the conversion chart sitting right here open right now. So on my list, here's where you'll see all of my different colors. I added goldenrod today, 1034, that's the Prismacolor color. The equivalent is stinkbug BW01. So that, I think, is the only additional one, because I'm looking at her grass, and she definitely has the goldenrod in there. I see it kind of looking a little autumn-esque, and the children are wearing sweaters, so it is cold weather, so I am going to throw that in the mix. And again, the colors I used today I will add, and I am making a promise to you guys. I'll put a little note that I will log. I don't even have the blues. I just randomly pulled blues yesterday, dark to light, in the blue tone that I wanted. And so they're not on this list. So I'm going to make, if I find my pencil here, a quick note. Here it is. To add the blues and figure out any Prismacolor matches. I'm writing that down. And what I'll probably do is do a community tab post and then link to the video where I do the tent, which I might do some of it today because right now it's a very bright blue and I need to tone it down and make it look aged. Add blues with PC match. So we'll see how well I can do with that. That is on there. I have greens in my hand. The barrels aren't a very good indicator at this point, so I'm going to be playing with light to dark. Antler 119. Antler has a lot of gray in it, as you can imagine. And then washed green M108 is a little bit brighter, and then leaf green MN058. I already mentioned goldenrod. Let's see if I can now find where I put it. Okay, so I'm going to pause because I do want to have it and want to work with it today, so I'll be right back. I hate when you're looking for something and it's right under your nose. It does not have any color on the barrel. Here is our tip. It's like a little bit of a warmish tone tan. And I am going to pick up my 3. I do have 2 more greens off to the side. MN47 and SC29, they're both very bright. Lime fruit and apple. I am coloring at a different angle today because I want to be able to do some grassy lines. I see that I did a bunch of cold gray 90%. I'm going to have to warm that up. Now that we're filling in more elements to that, I have grabbed SD23 chalk tone for the warming up of these shadow areas, which I actually did not fill in all the way. I'm getting very excited for next week, you guys. It is going to be a full week. Not every day, because I have Thanksgiving in there. I have a holiday. And I want to get all 13 of the rest of my pencil sets for rotation number 5. I want to get rotation 5 finished. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've got all my lazy Susans cleared away. I can be very, very lazy at cleaning up after myself, and I will have lazy Susans with random pencils laying around, sitting around on my desks. So all of them are put away except, yeah, all of my lazy Susans are empty, except this one right here. And I am going to get started with the hummingbird in Magical Worlds because I will be working on that tomorrow, which is Friday, and Saturday. So the set, I have a poll out for you guys, and so far the Brute Funer 520s are in the lead, which is great because that's the ones I just wanted to use them and thought, nope, I would like for you guys to participate in the decision. So I am just doing vertical squiggly lines to make it look very grass-like. I started with the chunks of grass as the artist has prompted us to use, as those will be the darkest areas, and then I can take this which is the darkest green, and just start doing softer patches of it. I'm going to try to do a little bit larger area. I am now regretting the smaller area that I did of the trees because I have like 3/4 of the top not done. And so I will tell you, once I finish with the children's clothing, the basket and the bear, it will then be all on me as homework to finish those trees. And I had to make some notes before I get too far along and forget what the colors are that I am supposed to be using. I switched to, this is probably antler, isn't it? I don't want to use antler. I want the little bit brighter one, washed green. So now I'm doing less liney, a little more just coloring in somewhat ovals, I guess. So lots going on in the next couple of weeks. Then we're going to get into December. I will have to... First I have to find, I am missing one of my coloring books, so I found out I've been filming this organization part 1 with all of my craft rune back into full swing with every one of my hobbies that will fit in here. I have one hobby, as I said, that does not fit in here. It's probably my oldest hobby that I have, and one that I don't do anymore for the most part. I'll make a little bit here and there with the pieces, but I collected a lot of stuff. I am surprised, kind of amazed. So that's all under my bed, and I am a don't put anything under the bed person, so I'm violating my own preference, but I had no choice. I don't have any other place to put it all. We did downsize. This house is, I think, 1,200 square feet, maybe a little more. And back when I was in full swing in the previous version of my hobbies and crafting life, because I have always been crafty, I had, our home was like 2,200 square feet. I think I had 2 dedicated bedrooms and part of the garage for, because I've always also ran an eBay business. And so I did a lot of production and shipping, and so shipping stuff was out in the garage. I'm not necessarily doing my grass exactly the way the Chris Chang. So if you look at her video, I've grabbed colors, but I am not necessarily looking closely at how she did her grass necessarily. Just kind of doing my own thing. I don't want to make it overly complicated. You know, my style of coloring is its own thing. So I'm trying to do it the way I would do it. I really did want to do the trees. Those are not my kind of trees. I did those watching what she did and mimicking her as best as I could. But other than that, I've been, oh, this is pretty bright. Definitely going to give it a fall-ish look. How far am I off the page? Oh, not too bad. You've seen almost all of it. Switching from the orangey fall grass tones back to the darkest. Back to the orangey tones again. Now on the left side here, I do have a clamp, and it is holding down the spine as best as we can. I'm going back to the, so leaf green is the darkest, washed green MN108. I am now coming in, doing some softer. It's okay to have some of the areas be white. It does not all have to be colored in. Still keeping my lines somewhat vertical. I want it to have a grassy look. And it's just kind of slowly filling in. So the area will end up looking decidedly green, but then there still will be the lines. The apparent lines will still be there. You'll see down here in the corner that I did end up with some sort of weird green line at some point. Sometimes with these books, which is why I was so excited to actually get Magical Worlds, the fact that Chris did her video 7 years ago, and here I am, this book is still fresh and new to me. Yeah, so I'm a little late to the party, but here I am, I made it. Better late than never, right? Have to figure out basket colors. I am grabbing what's called chalk tone. This is going to warm up the shadows. And I'm actually using it on this wood that I told you guys needed a little more color. And I want my apples to have a little more red. There's just they're big spaces. It's good for me to learn. So quiet. Trying to keep my line work horizontal in the shadows. I have a warmer tone, a couple of warm tones here. So I told you I needed to warm up some of this wood. This is a color I don't believe I had logged yet on my sheet. I put it on today. I do not have an equivalent. It is BW31 and it's called Tarantula. I think that this lighter tan is the Sienna Brown. Sienna Brown is DG138. And this is a little bit lighter, darker red than that. I can see it in here, and I'm just trying to add some of the darker red tones. Okay, let's add some red over here. I see a lot of a yellowish tan color on this particular log, and not a lot of red over on this side. Okay, setting that down. Back to chalk tone, which is the warming up of the shadows. I started with the 90%. Keeping my lines horizontal here. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of darks, and then I am going to come back and add some more. I haven't worked in this corner. I'll work on this whole corner that's like off the edge, what you can see. I will work on that myself. I have a tan that is less orange called Leather. I do not know, SD001. I do not think I have this down with an equivalent. I could use SD013 instead, because that I have the equivalent of, which is 997 Beige. And I'm kind of not wearing, this is so soft, it's adding more smudgy type lines. And so I am not making sure I go vertically with this. I'm even kind of going all over, even on the wood here. And it's warming up my stones, which I did have some yellow on them. This is making a great burnisher, or like a blender pencil pushing the tooth away. You see that? See, I like that. I hope you guys can see a little bit of this tan coming through. Nice. So get rid of this tooth all up here. I still have not decided the clothing. I am going to have a little bit of time next week to brainstorm during my downtime. I'm going back to the darkest green. It is leaf green, MN058. So this is somewhat burnished feeling now. My pencil, it sort of skips along. It's not grabbing the tooth of the paper because I've added that light color, what's the beige, which is called suede. As I get toward the front, as closest to like where the viewer is, the person who's looking at this scene, I need to have my blades be more distinct. Have to do the basket. I mean, I could just grab some browns and go. All I'm doing here is making some grass peek out from behind these logs. These are a fairly soft pencil, so if you get your the sharp point just right, you can get these very nice sketchy blades of grass. I will have to continue my blades of grass detailing. I will focus it all right here on the image, and then as it fades away to the left, I will get less and less distinct with the blades, drawing attention to this center area around the fire pit. I have to color the boots and shoes still, but I am placing the blades in front to remember to try to keep the details of them in front of the boots. Any of the elements, it'll be hard to get green in front of the brown here. So now I'm coming in with this green horizontally. First time I've gone horizontal, trying to green up just these edges. I don't want it to be a harsh edge. The light source is from behind, coming in from the upper right. Oh, look at that. I have some sunlight over there. So the idea is, with the interest in the front, is to not detract too much from this center area. I might have to close my curtains. How are we doing for time? I have time to work on the tent. I actually want to add, if I have a peachy color. It is called SC74. This is the one that there was one deformed, defective pencil, and it's this one. It does not have any details printed on it at all, and through process of elimination, I determined it was SC74. Since I already have some goldenrod, I'm going to go ahead and close my curtains. It's as cute as it is. I am sure it's distracting. There we go. So there is what it looks like. I've thought about adding some gel pen details. I haven't been doing a lot. Of gel pen lately. I see a need for chalk tone. Chalk tone is the shadow, and I need some back here. And then I actually want to add some green. And that is, did I set it down? I did. Going vertical again. I don't think I've added any green to this area back here. And it is grass. This is in shadow, so I don't need it to be as obvious. Little grass blades, so I'm now actually muting them a bit because they were too distinct to me. Ooh, and look how dark it got. So I'm gonna lighten it up. That's what happens when I closed the curtains. Grabbing our suede color. I'm somewhat going vertical here with these. In case there's any lines, I want them to be vertical, not horizontal. See how those vertical lines, I hope you can see that. I'm not zoomed in as much as I am normally because the space is so much larger. And yes, I am sitting up again. It's just too large of a space for me to be comfortable in the recliner with the clipboard. It's just a lot to try to keep straight. Perfect for sitting and doing zoomed in work. Love the recliner for that, but this definitely is much more of a sit up tall. I need to see the whole space all as one. All right, so we're 36 minutes, and I would like to set all of these down. I'm going to keep them. Where is this? Is the I am looking for my all black. Here we go. I just want to make sure I have. So this is a stink bug that gives the fall colors. Setting these off to the side. Grabbing the blues. I have made a note already that I'm going to find the equivalents, the Prismacolor equivalents on the chart for you guys. Because from there, you can get this chart from My Colorful Country Life, and she has the conversions. You can even do your own conversions if you want. She has the Black Widows, all of them on the chart, compared to 11 other sets of pencils. And the way I understand it, if it's not a perfect match, I'm going to take the color Fawn, MN121. I want to start with this tent. I need to rotate everything because now I want to work in long lines. Yeah. So we're going to have to, we'll see if it gets too shaky, and I want to, I think we'll be okay. We're a little bit close. You can't see the whole tent. So I will try to work in the middle. And what I want to do here is I'm trying to get the more aged, dirty look using Fawn. Again, this is fabric. I am doing long lines, emphasizing if I see any streaks, like here's a couple of blue streaks, I'm going to go over those blue streaks with Fawn and go ahead and let them be even further emphasized. This is all about aging and distressing. And of course, I see my thing falling, so I'm going to pause a second. All right, we were falling off the stand. This is my old system that I have set up over here. So I have it attached to a lamp. Not my normal setup. That I left over by the recliner. So I'm optimistic today that after I finish this video, I can finish this silly, all of my coloring books. I now have a new chunk of coloring books that were donated 2 days ago now, and I tried to film and it came out blurry. But by that time, class was going to start, so I'm going to give it one last go. And I think it'll be ready to post. I'm trying to get all caught up this week. I still have the very tail end of the conversion chart, some final decisions that I think I will get to do that as well today. I have a newfound respect for those people willing to do conversion charts. It's very hard. making the call of whether or not a color is close enough to another color to be considered the equivalent. Very, very challenging. Again, this is Fawn 121, MN121, that I am lightly glazing to give the tent a bit of an aged look. Going in long lines. I do have a few beige to tan colors. And this is where my very slow preference for light layers becomes apparent. You can't really tell when I'm coloring in a very small image like the Small Victories books, but when I have this big space that I have to build up and build up and build up, it's very apparent that I am a slow layering colorist. Have not figured out the children's clothing nor these little flags. All right, how are we doing for time? Oh, just a couple minutes left. I'm going to try to add more pressure back here. This is the back side. Cast in shadow. I left lots of little creases and folds back here. Oh, I hear somebody, and I hear a knock on the door. I will be right back. All right, that was my mom. She is working on shifting her phone service to the, hopefully the final destination of Verizon. And right now it's in limbo and she has no phone, so she had to come and let me know that. So we're about done. We're at our time limit. The tent still needs some work. I will save that for the tail end of when we work on the people next week. I will come in here, and I might actually spend a little time on the trees if I do find an extra moment of time, so I can have them looking more finished. So do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing, and tomorrow we will get started on the Magical Worlds hummingbird. I will keep an eye on the pencil set post to make sure it is indeed going to be the Brutfuner, which I will pull tomorrow after I finish my morning regimen of exercise. I hope to see you all there.